The champagne flute slipped from my fingers and shattered against the marble floor of my brand new kitchen. I stared at the sparkling mess, then at my phone screen, reading my mother's text for the third time. "Surprise! We're throwing you a housewarming party tomorrow at 2 p.m. Don't worry about anything. We've got it all handled. Can't wait to celebrate your beautiful new home with the whole family." My name is Catherine, and I should have known better. After 38 years of being the family's personal ATM and emotional dumping ground, I should have recognised the warning signs. But standing in my dream house, 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a chef's kitchen, and most importantly, a gate with a security code, I'd let myself believe I was finally free. The house was perfect. Even Michaela's name appeared in what used to be my home office. Wait, what? I stood up so fast my chair nearly tipped over. "What is this?" "It's perfect," Michaela squealed. "Rebecca and the kids can have the upstairs, and I can take the office space downstairs. We can convert it into a bedroom easy." "You can convert my office?" "Well, you work from home anyway," Rebecca said. "You can just work from the kitchen table. It's not like you need a whole room just for a computer." The presentation kept rolling. The next slide showed a budget breakdown with my name at the top and everyone else's expenses listed below. Groceries, utilities, car payments, even entertainment costs, all neatly organised under Catherine's contributions. "We've thought of everything," Dad said, speaking for the first time since they'd arrived. "This arrangement benefits everyone. Rebecca gets stability for the kids, Michaela gets a chance to save money, and you get a house full of family." "I don't want a house full of family," I said, but my voice was barely a whisper. "Don't be silly," Mum laughed. "Of course you do. You've been alone for too long. This will be good for you." Aunt Tiffany nodded enthusiastically. "Catherine's always been too independent for her own good. This will help her learn to share." "Share what? My house? My money? My life?" "Your blessings," Mom said firmly. "God has blessed you with abundance, and now it's time to share those blessings with your family." The final slide appeared. A photo of a key with "Welcome Home" engraved on it, surrounded by more clip art hearts. Mum reached into her purse and pulled out the actual key, identical to the one on screen. The room erupted in applause as she handed it to Rebecca. "Welcome home, sweetheart," Mum said, tears in her eyes. "Catherine, isn't this wonderful? Your sister and her beautiful children safe and secure in your lovely home." Rebecca clutched the key to her chest. "I can't believe this is really happening. Kids, come here. Come see your new rooms." The children swarmed past me, thundering up my stairs to explore bedrooms that were apparently theirs now. I could hear doors slamming, drawers opening, voices claiming spaces that I'd carefully designed for myself. "Catherine?" Mum's voice seemed to come from very far away. "Aren't you going to say something?" Everyone was staring at me. Phones were still recording. Rebecca was crying happy tears while Michaela was already on her phone, probably posting about her new living situation on social media. "I need a minute," I said. "Of course, honey," Mum said. "This is a lot to take in. Why don't you go freshen up while we start moving Rebecca's things in from the truck?" "What truck?" "The moving truck," Dad said. "It's parked around the corner. We didn't want to spoil the surprise." I walked upstairs on shaking legs, past Rebecca's kids who were already jumping on the beds in what used to be my guest rooms. In my bedroom, my sanctuary, I sat on the edge of my bed and stared at the wall. They'd planned this, every detail, every moment, every assumption that I would just smile and go along with it. They'd made decisions about my life, my home, my future, without asking me a single question. I opened my nightstand drawer and pulled out a manila envelope I'd placed there just that morning. Inside were documents I'd hoped I'd never have to use. Time to crash their party. I walked back downstairs, clutching the envelope, my legs steadier now. The house buzzed with activity. Rebecca's kids had claimed the living room, spreading toys across my Persian rug, while the adults discussed logistics like military strategists. "Catherine!" Mum spotted me first. "Perfect timing. We're just figuring out the sleeping arrangements." "The twins can share the blue bedroom," Rebecca was saying, pointing upstairs. "And Jake can have the room with the gaming setup. Is that your computer up there? He's really good with technology." "That's my work computer," I said. "Oh, he'll be careful. Kids these days know more about computers than we do anyway." Michaela was sprawled across my kitchen counter, laptop open, typing furiously. "I'm already updating my address for mail forwarding. This is going to save me so much money on rent." "What about your lease?" I asked, month to month, she said without looking up. "I can be out by next weekend." Peyton appeared beside me, her voice low. "Catherine, can I talk to you privately?" "Actually, we're all family here," Mum interrupted. "No secrets, remember?" "It's not a secret," Peyton said carefully. "I just wanted to ask Catherine about something." "Ask away," Rebecca said, bouncing her youngest on her hip. "We're all going to be living together anyway. Might as well get used to sharing everything." Peyton's jaw tightened. "Catherine, did you know about this plan beforehand?" "Of course she did," Mum said before I could answer. "We've been talking about it for weeks." "No, you haven't," I said quietly. The room went silent except for the sound of kids playing upstairs. "What do you mean?" Dad asked. "I mean, you've been planning this for weeks. You haven't been talking to me about anything." "Well, we wanted it to be a surprise," Mum said, her smile flickering. "But obviously we knew you'd be on board. You always help family." "Always," Rebecca agreed. "Remember when you paid for my wedding? And when you covered my car payments after Jake was born? And when you helped with the twins' daycare? And my student loans," Michaela added. "Don't forget those." "And the down payment on our house," Dad said. "Catherine's always been generous." Aunt Tiffany nodded. "It's what family does. Catherine understands responsibility." "What about Rebecca's responsibility?" Peyton asked. "Or Michaela's?" "Excuse me?" Rebecca's voice sharpened. "I'm a single mother with 5 kids. Do you know how hard that is?" "I'm trying to get my life together," Michaela said. "This is just temporary until I figure things out." "How temporaries?" I asked. "Well, until the kids are older," Rebecca said. "Maybe when they're all in high school or college. It depends." "So, 15 years? "Catherine, don't be dramatic," Mum said. "We'll figure it out as we go. The important thing is we're all together." "Together?" I repeated. "Yes, like when you were kids," Mum beamed. "Remember how close you all were?" "I remember doing Rebecca's homework while she went to parties," I said. "You were always good at school," Rebecca said. "It came naturally to you." "I remember babysitting every weekend so you and Dad could go out," I continued. "You were so responsible," Dad said. "We trusted you." "I remember paying for Michaela's prom dress, her car insurance, her phone bill." "You make good money," Michaela said. "It's not like it hurt you." And now I remember why I moved out in the first place. The room fell silent again. Even the kids upstairs seemed to sense the tension. "Catherine," Mum's voice took on that warning tone I remembered from childhood. "Don't be selfish. This is about family." "Family helps family," Rebecca added. "Family supports each other," Michaela said. "Family shares," Dad finished. I looked around the room at all the faces staring at me expectantly. Every room decorated exactly how I wanted it. No compromises for anyone else's taste. No sticky fingerprints on the walls. No mysterious stains on the carpet. No one asking to borrow money they'd never pay back. Just me, my books, and the kind of silence that only comes when you're not constantly managing other people's crises. I'd worked 16-hour days for 3 years to afford this place. while my sister Rebecca was getting divorced, and my younger sister Michaela was bouncing between jobs and boyfriends, I was building my consulting business from nothing. Every vacation I didn't take, every weekend I spent working instead of dating, every sacrifice I made, it all led to this moment. The doorbell rang. "They're early," I muttered, stepping carefully around the broken glass. My parents, my sisters, my aunt, my cousins, family friends, all waiting for me to smile and accept my role as the family's permanent safety net. "You're right," I said finally. "Family does help a family." Mum's smile returned full force. "I knew you'd understand." "Family does support each other," I continued. "Exactly," Rebecca said, "and family does share." "That's our girl," Dad said proudly. I held up the manila envelope. "So, I have something to share with all of you." "What's that?" Mum asked. "A surprise of my own," I said. "Rebecca, this is for you." I handed her the envelope. She looked confused, but took it, her new house key still clutched in her other hand. "What is it?" she asked. "Open it," I said. "In front of everyone. Since we're all family here." Rebecca tore open the envelope and pulled out the papers inside. Her face went from confusion to shock to something that looked like terror. "What does it say?" Mum demanded. Rebecca's hands were shaking. I don't understand." "Read it out loud," I said calmly. "Catherine, what is this?" Rebecca whispered. "It's my contribution to the family," I said. "Go ahead, share it with everyone." Rebecca's hands trembled as she stared at the papers. "Catherine, I can't. What is this?" "Read it," I said again, my voice steady as stone. "I don't understand these legal terms," Rebecca stammered. Mum snatched the papers from her hands. "Let me see." Her eyes scanned the first page, and I watched her face drain of colour. This is a property sale agreement." "What?" Dad grabbed the papers from Mum. "Sale agreement for what property?" "This one," I said simply. The room erupted. "What do you mean, this one?" Rebecca shrieked. "I mean this house, the one you just moved into, the one you're standing in right now." "That's impossible," Mum said, her voice shaking. "You just bought this place." 3 months ago, yes, and I sold it 2 weeks ago." "You can't sell a house in 2 weeks," Michaela said, but her voice was uncertain. "You can when you pay cash and the buyer pays cash," I replied. Amazing how fast paperwork moves when there's no financing involved. Dad was flipping through the pages frantically. "Catherine, this says the sale closes. This says it closes tomorrow. Monday, actually. Tomorrow's Sunday." "Monday?" Rebecca's voice cracked. "But we just moved in." "No, you just broke into my house with a key Mum had made without my permission." "We didn't break in," Mum protested. "This is family." "Family doesn't forge house keys." "We didn't forge anything." Mum's face was turning red. "We had copies made." "From what original? I never gave you a key." Silence fell like a hammer. Even the kids upstairs had gone quiet. "How did you get my house key?" I asked Mum directly. She looked around the room desperately. Your father?" "I found your spare," Dad admitted quietly. "The one under the garden gnome. The emergency key that I hid for emergencies. Not for you to copy and distribute to the entire family." "Catherine, you're being ridiculous," Aunt Tiffany said. "So what if they made copies? You're family." "And family doesn't sell houses out from under each other," Rebecca screamed. I pulled out my phone and showed them the screen. "The buyers are Hartwell Development. They specialise in tear-downs. This house is being demolished in 3 weeks to make room for a shopping complex." "Demolished?" Michaela whispered. "Gone, erased, turned into a parking lot." "You can't do this," Mum said, her voice deadly quiet. "I won't let you." It's already done. The contracts are signed, the money's been transferred. I close on Monday and hand over the keys. What keys? Rebecca held up the welcome home key. This key? That key opens the front door of a house that won't exist in a month. Rebecca threw the key at me. It bounced off my chest and clattered to the floor. You're insane! Where are my kids supposed to live? I don't know. Where were they going to live before you decided to move them into my house without asking? We're family, Mum screamed. Family doesn't do this to each other. You're right, I said. Family doesn't ambush each other with surprise parties that are actually hostile takeovers. Family doesn't make copies of house keys without permission. Family doesn't plan to move into someone's home without asking. Family doesn't create budgets with other people's money without consulting them. We were helping you, Michaela protested. You were alone. I was alone by choice. I was alone because I wanted to be alone. I bought this house to be alone. That's selfish, Rebecca said. What's selfish is assuming you can just take over someone else's life because it's convenient for you. Dad was still staring at the papers. Catherine, where are you going to live? I pulled out another document from the envelope. This is a one-way ticket to Barcelona. My flight leaves Tuesday morning. Barcelona? Mum's voice was barely a whisper. Spain. I've always wanted to see Spain. For how long? Dad asked. I don't know. Maybe forever. You can't leave, Rebecca said desperately. What about us? What about the kids? What about them? Who's going to help us? I don't know. Maybe Barry, maybe your parents. Maybe you'll figure it out yourselves. Barry doesn't pay child support, Rebecca said. Then take him to court. Court costs money. Get a job. I have 5 kids. Other single mothers work. You don't understand how hard it is. You're right. I don't understand how hard it is because I've never had kids. I've never had kids because I've been too busy taking care of everyone else's kids. Mum was crying now. Catherine, please, we can work this out. We can find another solution. The solution is for everyone to take care of themselves. But we're family, she sobbed. Family helps family, I said. And sometimes the best help you can give someone is to stop helping them. Peyton started clapping slowly. Everyone turned to stare at her. Good for you, Catherine, she said. It's about damn time. Peyton, Mum gasped. No, I'm serious. Good for her. You people have been bleeding her dry for years. That's enough, Dad said. Is it? Because I don't think it's nearly enough. The front door burst open and 3 men in work clothes walked in. Excuse me, one of them said. We're from Hartwell Development. We're here to do the final walkthrough before demolition. The lead contractor looked around the room at the shocked faces, balloons, and scattered party supplies. Are we interrupting something? Yes, Mum shrieked. Get out! This is a private residence. Actually, Mum, this is a commercial property as of Monday. I'm Jim from Hartwell Development. He held up a clipboard. We're here to assess structural integrity before demolition begins. Demolition? Rebecca's voice cracked. You can't demolish this house. People live here. Not according to our paperwork, Jim said, consulting his clipboard. Property was sold vacant. It is vacant, I said calmly. These people were just leaving. We are not leaving. Mum planted herself in front of the contractors like she was blocking a tank. This is my daughter's house. Which daughter? Jim asked, looking confused. Me, I said. I'm Catherine. I sold you the house. Right, Miss Catherine. Thanks for the quick sale. Cash deals are always smooth. He turned to Mum. Mum, you'll need to clear out. We start demo prep Wednesday. Wednesday? Dad went pale. Through the security camera, I could see my mother Caroline standing on my front porch, perfectly coiffed as always, holding what looked like a cake box. Behind her, my father Daniel shifted uncomfortably, probably already regretting whatever scheme she dragged him into. I opened the door with my best smile. "Mum, Dad, you're early. I wasn't expecting—" "Surprise!" The word exploded from behind them, as what felt like half my extended family emerged from behind the landscaping. Rebecca appeared first, her 5 kids trailing behind her, like ducklings, followed by Michaela with her phone already out, recording everything. Then came the aunts, uncles, cousins, and family friends I hadn't seen in months. That's 4 days from now. 3 working days, Jim corrected. We don't count weekends. Rebecca grabbed her youngest child, who had wandered downstairs. You can't tear down a house with children in it. We're not tearing it down with children in it, Jim said patiently. That's why we're here today, to make sure it's empty. But where will we go? Rebecca wailed. That's not really our concern, Mum. Catherine, Mum whirled on me. Stop this. Call them off. I can't call them off. I don't own the house anymore. You're their client. I was their client. Now I'm just someone who used to live here. One of the other contractors was taking photos of the rooms. Nice place. Shame to tear it down, but the location's perfect for retail. What kind of retail? Michaela asked weakly. Strip mall. Maybe a Starbucks, dry cleaner, nail salon. You know, neighborhood stuff. A strip mall, Rebecca repeated. You're turning our home into a strip mall. It's not your home, I said. It was never your home. We had plans, Mum screamed. We had everything figured out. You had plans for my life without asking me. Because we knew you'd say yes. You always say yes. Well, this time I'm saying no. Jim cleared his throat. Look, folks, I don't want to get in the middle of family drama, but we need to do our walkthrough. Can you give us about 20 minutes? Take all the time you need, I said. I'll show you around. Catherine, don't you dare! Mum blocked my path. I'm calling our lawyer. What lawyer? Dad asked. We'll find one. This has to be illegal. What's illegal about selling your own house? Peyton asked. She's destroying the family. The family destroyed itself, Peyton shot back. Catherine just stopped enabling it. Aunt Tiffany was recording everything on her phone. This is going straight to Facebook. Everyone needs to see what Catherine's doing to her own family. Good, I said. Make sure you get the part where you all moved into my house without permission. We had permission, Mum insisted. From who? From family loyalty. That's not a legal document. Jim was getting impatient. Mum, we really need to start our inspection. Fine, I said. Everyone out. We're not going anywhere. Rebecca planted herself on my couch. Yes, you are. I pulled out my phone. Because if you don't leave voluntarily, I'm calling the police for trespassing. You wouldn't, Mum breathed. Try me. Catherine, please, Dad said quietly. Let's just talk about this. We're past talking. You made your decision when you planned this ambush. I made mine when I signed the sale papers. But the children, Rebecca sobbed. Think about the children. I am thinking about them. I'm thinking they need a mother who can take care of them instead of expecting everyone else to do it. I can't do this alone. Then maybe you should have thought about that before having 5 kids with a man who doesn't pay child support. That's cruel, Aunt Tiffany said. What's cruel is expecting other people to pay for your choices. Jim stepped forward. Okay, I'm going to need everyone to clear out now. We have a job to do. Come on, kids, Rebecca called upstairs. We're leaving. But Mum, I like it here, Jake called back. We can't stay here, baby. Aunt Catherine is making us leave. I'm not making you leave, I said. I'm making you face reality. The kids thundered down the stairs, confused and upset. Rebecca gathered them around her like a shield. Look at them, she said to me. Look at their faces. This is what you're doing to innocent children. This is what you did to them when you got evicted from your apartment. That wasn't my fault. Nothing ever is. Mom was crying harder now. Catherine, I'm begging you, please. We can work this out. The only thing to work out is where you're all going to live, and that's not my problem anymore. Family helps family, she whispered. Family helps family, I agreed, but I'm not family anymore. I'm just someone who used to be related to you. I walked to the front door and held it open. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for coming to my going away party. My phone started buzzing at 6 a.m. Monday morning. Text after text after text. Rebecca. Catherine, please, call me, we need to talk. Mum, I didn't sleep all night. How could you do this to us? Michaela. Everyone's talking about what you did. You're trending on TikTok. Dad. Your mother is in the hospital. Stress-induced chest pains. I hope you're happy. Aunt Tiffany. Posted the whole story on Facebook. 847 comments so far. You should read them. I turned my phone off and drove to the house for the last time. The moving truck was gone from around the corner, but Rebecca's minivan sat in my driveway. Through the windows, I could see her kids sleeping in the back seats, covered with blankets. She was sitting on my front steps, still in yesterday's clothes. Catherine, she said when she saw me. Thank God. I've been waiting all night. Why are you here? Where else would I go? The apartment's been rented to someone else. Mum and Dad's place is too small. Michaela's staying with friends. What about Barry? He won't return my calls. I walked past her to unlock the front door. You can't stay here, Rebecca. Just for a few days, until I figure something out. The demolition crew starts Wednesday. Then we have 2 days. We don't have anything. I have 2 days to finish packing. She followed me inside. The house looked like a tornado had hit it. Furniture was overturned. Food was scattered across the kitchen. And someone had written, "Heartless bitch," in lipstick on my bathroom mirror. Did you do this? I asked. Michaela was upset. So she trashed my house? She was just expressing her feelings. I walked to my bedroom and found more destruction. My clothes were scattered everywhere, my jewellery box was overturned, and there was a note on my pillow. You'll regret this. Family is forever. M. She went through my personal things. She was looking for something to help us understand why you do this. I did this because you people don't understand boundaries. We understand boundaries. We just thought family was more important. Family is more important. That's why I'm protecting myself from you. My phone buzzed. I'd turned it back on to call the moving company. Text from Peyton. Check the family group chat. It's insane. I opened the group chat and scrolled through hundreds of messages. Mum, Catherine has lost her mind. She's destroying the family. Aunt Tiffany. I posted the whole story online. People are calling her a monster. Uncle Greg. Maybe she has a point. Rebecca's been taking advantage for years. Aunt Holly. How can you say that? She's making children homeless. Cousin Sarah. Those kids have been homeless before. Maybe this will motivate Rebecca to get her act together. Michaela. Sarah, how can you be so cruel? Sarah. How can you be so entitled? Catherine doesn't owe you anything. The messages kept coming. The family was splitting into factions. Team Rebecca versus Team Catherine, with most people afraid to pick sides. Look at this. I showed Rebecca my phone. They poured through my front door like a flood, carrying balloons, gift bags, and enough food to feed a small army. My carefully curated living room disappeared under a sea of people who immediately began rearranging my furniture to accommodate their party. Catherine, honey, this place is gorgeous, Aunt Tiffany gushed, already opening my kitchen cabinets like she owned the place. You've done so well for yourself." "Where should we put the cake?" Mum asked, not waiting for an answer as she commandeered my dining room table. "Kids, don't touch anything," Rebecca called half-heartedly to her children, who were already spreading out across my house like they were claiming territory. "Your drama is tearing the family apart." "My drama? You're the one who sold your house." "I sold my house, not the family house, not our house, my house." "But we needed it. You need it to figure out your own life." The doorbell rang. Through the window, I could see a news van parked outside. "Did you call the media?" I asked Rebecca. "What? No!" I opened the door to find a reporter with a cameraman behind her. "Catherine, I'm Jennifer from Channel 7 News. We'd like to ask you about the viral video of you evicting your family." "What viral video?" "The one your aunt posted yesterday. It has over 2 million views." Rebecca appeared behind me. "We're not talking to reporters." "Actually, Mom, we'd like to hear both sides of the story. Bye-bye." "Is it true you were living in your sister's house without permission?" "It's not without permission. She's family." "But did she explicitly give you permission to move in?" "She didn't explicitly say no." "That's not how consent works," I said. The reporter turned to me. "Catherine, some people online are calling you heartless. Others are calling you a hero. How do you respond?" "I respond by saying that setting boundaries doesn't make you heartless. It makes you healthy." "But what about the children? Where will they go?" "That's their mother's responsibility to figure out." "You don't feel any obligation to help?" "I've been helping for 15 years. Now it's time for everyone to help themselves." "Rebecca, what's your response to that?" "My response is that Catherine is selfish and cruel, and she's destroying our family over money." "This isn't about money," I said. "This is about respect." "Respect?" Rebecca laughed bitterly. "You want respect. You just made 5 children homeless. You made 5 children homeless when you got evicted from your apartment. I just refuse to enable your poor choices." The cameraman was getting everything. I could already see this becoming another viral video. "Catherine," the reporter said, "do you have any regrets about your decision?" I looked at Rebecca, standing there in yesterday's clothes, her kids still sleeping in the car, her whole life falling apart because she'd never learned to take care of herself. "My only regret," I said, "is that I didn't do this sooner." Rebecca's face crumpled. "Catherine, please, I'm begging you, don't do this." "It's already done." The demolition crew's truck pulled up behind the news van. Jim got out and waved at me. "Ready for us, Miss Catherine?" "Ready," I said. "No!" Rebecca threw herself between me and the crew. "You can't do this. Those are my children in that car." "Then maybe you should take them somewhere safe," I said. "Where? Where am I supposed to take them?" "I don't know, Rebecca, but for the first time in your life, that's not my problem to solve." The airport was chaos. Flight delays, crying babies, and people rushing everywhere with their luggage. I sat in the departure lounge, watching planes take off through the massive windows, my single suitcase at my feet. My phone hadn't stopped buzzing since I'd left the house. I'd turned off notifications, but I could see the screen lighting up constantly. "Catherine!" I looked up to see Peyton running toward me, weaving between travellers. "How did you know I was here?" I asked. "Your flight information was in the family group chat. Mum posted it with a message asking people to talk sense into you before you board." "Great. So now my travel plans are public information too." Peyton sat down beside me, catching her breath. "I'm not here to talk you out of anything. I'm here to say goodbye properly. Thank you. Also, to give you this." She handed me a thick envelope. "It's from Rebecca." "I don't want anything from Rebecca. Just look at it." I opened the envelope and found a stack of photos. Pictures of Rebecca's kids at Christmas, birthdays, school events, all of them with me in the background, or holding them or helping with something. At the bottom was a handwritten note. You were the best aunt they ever had. They love you. Please don't abandon them like their father did. Ja-ah-ah. She's trying to guilt-trip me, I said. Probably, but those kids do love you. I love them too. That's why I'm doing this. How is leaving the country helping them? Because as long as I'm here, Rebecca will never have to grow up. She'll keep making bad decisions because she knows I'll fix them. And if she doesn't grow up, if she can't handle this, then that's on her, not me. Peyton was quiet for a moment. The family's falling apart, you know. Mum and Dad are barely speaking. Michaela moved in with some guy she met on a dating app. Rebecca's staying at a homeless shelter with the kids. A homeless shelter? Just temporarily, until she can figure something out. I stared at the photos in my hands, Jake grinning with his missing front teeth. The twins covered in birthday cake. Rebecca's youngest taking her first steps while I held her hands. She could have figured something out before now, I said finally. Could she? Really? She's never had to. You've always been there. That's the problem. Maybe. Or maybe the problem is that nobody ever taught her how to be responsible because you were always so good at it. That's not my fault. No, it's not. But those kids didn't choose any of this. The boarding announcement came over the intercom. Flight 447 to Barcelona, now boarding first-class passengers. That's me, I said. Catherine, wait. Peyton grabbed my arm. What if I told you there was another way? What other way? What if you didn't have to choose between enabling Rebecca and abandoning the kids? I'm listening. What if you set up a trust fund? For the kids' education, basic needs, but with strict conditions. Rebecca can't touch the money directly. She has to prove she's working, staying clean, being responsible. You want me to give them more money? I want you to give them a safety net that doesn't involve you personally managing their lives. And if Rebecca doesn't meet the conditions? Then the kids still have something when they turn 18, and Rebecca learns there are consequences for her choices. I looked at the photos again. How much money are we talking about? I don't know. Whatever you think is fair. The point is, you can help them without sacrificing yourself. Final boarding call for Flight 447 to Barcelona. I have to go, I said. Do you? Really? Or are you running away because it's easier than finding a middle ground? There is no middle ground with my family. There's only all or nothing. Because that's how you've always done it. But maybe it's time to try something different. I stood up and grabbed my suitcase. I'm getting on that plane, Peyton. I know, I'm not trying to stop you. I'm just asking you to think about it. I've been thinking about it for months. Think about it some more. From Barcelona, you can set up a trust fund from anywhere in the world. I walked toward the gate, then stopped. Peyton? Yeah? Take care of yourself. Don't let them do to you what they did to me. I won't. Her oldest, a 10-year-old named Jake, was jumping on my white leather couch while the twins explored my home office. Rebecca, maybe keep an eye on them, I suggested, watching Jake's muddy shoes leave marks on my cushions. Oh, they're fine, she waved me off. Kids will be kids. Besides, this is family time. Family time. The phrase that had been used to justify every boundary I'd ever tried to set being trampled into dust. Michaela appeared at my elbow, still filming. This is so exciting. Catherine finally has a place big enough for all of us to gather. No more cramped apartments or having to split up for holidays. Something cold settled in my stomach. What do you mean, big enough for all of us? Well, you know, Michaela's smile was too bright, too practiced. I learned from watching you. What did you learn? That sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone is refuse to help them. I boarded the plane and found my seat by the window. As we taxied down the runway, I could see the city getting smaller below me. Somewhere down there, Rebecca was probably putting her kids to bed in a homeless shelter. Somewhere down there, Mum was probably crying, and Dad was probably trying to figure out how to fix everything. Somewhere down there, Michaela was probably posting about the drama on social media, and somewhere down there was the empty lot where my house used to be. The plane lifted off, and I closed my eyes. For the first time in 15 years, their problems weren't my problems. For the first time in my life, I was free. The cafe in Barcelona had become my office. Every morning, I'd sit at the same corner table with my laptop and a cortado, watching the city wake up around me. The work was good. Consulting remotely meant I could live anywhere, and I'd chosen somewhere beautiful. My phone buzzed with a WhatsApp message from Peyton. "Call me when you can. Important update." I finished my client call and dialed her number. "Catherine, how's Spain?" "Peaceful. What's the important update?" "Rebecca got a job." I nearly dropped my phone. "What kind of job?" "Receptionist at a paediatric clinic. Full-time, benefits, decent pay. She's been there 3 months." 3 months? Why didn't you tell me sooner?" "Because I wanted to make sure she'd stick with it. You know how she is with jobs." "How are the kids?" "Good. Really good, actually. They're staying in a transitional housing program for single mothers. Rebecca has to maintain employment and attend parenting classes to keep their spot." "And she's doing it?" "She's doing it. Catherine, I think losing everything scared her straight. She realised nobody was coming to save her." I stared out at the Barcelona street, watching people hurry past with their own lives and problems. "What about Mom and Dad?" "That's complicated. Dad's been going to therapy, says he's learning about enabling behaviours. Mum's still convinced you're the villain in all this. Some things never change. But some things do. Michaela got evicted from her boyfriend's place and had to move back in with Mom and Dad. She's working at a grocery store now." "Michaela's working?" "Shocking, I know. Turns out when your safety net disappears, you figure out how to catch yourself." A notification popped up on my laptop, an email from a law firm in the States. "Peyton, I have to go. I'm getting a call." "Wait, Catherine, there's something else." "What?" "Rebecca wants to talk to you. She's been asking for months." "I'm not ready for that." "I know, but maybe think about it." I hung up and opened the email. It was from an attorney I'd contacted before leaving the country. The trust fund paperwork was complete. The kids would have money for college, but only if Rebecca maintained steady employment and stayed out of legal trouble. If she failed those conditions, the money would go to a children's charity instead. My phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello?" "Catherine, it's Rebecca." My heart stopped. "How did you get this number?" "Peyton gave it to me. Please don't hang up." "Rebecca, I got a job. I heard. I'm working every day. I get up at 6, I drop the kids at school, I work 8 hours, I pick them up, I help with homework. I'm doing it." "Good." "I hate it." I almost smiled. Most people hate working. But I'm doing it anyway. Because I have to. Because nobody's going to do it for me. "That's right. Catherine, I'm sorry." The words hung in the air between us, carried across an ocean through fibre optic cables. "I'm sorry I took advantage of you. I'm sorry I never said thank you. I'm sorry I let Mum and Dad use you as their solution to all our problems. Rebecca, I'm sorry I called you selfish when you were the most generous person I knew. I'm sorry I made you feel like you had to choose between helping us and having your own life." I was crying now, sitting in a cafe in Barcelona, crying over my sister's voice coming through my phone. "I'm sorry too," I said. "For what? You didn't do anything wrong." "I'm sorry I left the way I did. I'm sorry I didn't try to find another solution." There wasn't another solution. I wouldn't have listened. I had to lose everything to understand what I was doing to you. How are the kids handling everything? They're resilient. Kids are more resilient than we think. Jake asks about you all the time. Tell him I miss him. Tell him yourself. He's right here. Before I could protest, I heard Jake's voice. Aunt Catherine? Are you really in Spain? I am, buddy. Are there castles there? Lots of castles. Will you send me pictures? I'll send you pictures. Mum says you're not coming home. I don't know if I'm coming home, Jake. That's okay. Mum says sometimes people need to go away to figure things out. She says you figured out how to be happy. Did I? Are you happy? I looked around the cafe, at my laptop full of work I enjoyed, at the Barcelona street full of people living their own lives, at my phone connecting me to family who are finally learning to take care of themselves. Yeah, buddy, I think I am. Good. Mum says when people are happy, it makes everyone else happier too. Your mum's getting pretty smart. She's always been smart. She just forgot for a while. Rebecca came back on the line. Catherine? Yeah? I set up the trust fund you arranged for the kids' college. You didn't have to tell me that. Yes, I did. Because I want you to know I'm not taking it for granted. I'm not taking anything for granted anymore. Good. Will you think about visiting sometime? Not to help or fix anything, just to visit. I watched a family walk past the cafe window, parents and children laughing together, no crisis in sight. Maybe, I said. Someday. I love you, Catherine. I love you too, Rebecca. After I hung up, I sat in the cafe for a long time, watching Barcelona live its life around me. My family was learning to live their lives without me, and I was learning to live mine without them. It wasn't the ending I'd planned when I boarded that plane, but it was better than the ending I'd been living before. Sometimes the best thing you can do for the people you love is refuse to save them. Sometimes they save themselves. Now that you have all this space, we can really be a family again, like when we were kids. When we were kids, I was the one doing everyone's homework while they played. When we were kids, I was babysitting Rebecca while our parents worked, then later babysitting Rebecca's kids while she partied. When we were kids, I learned that being the responsible one meant being the one everyone else leaned on until you broke. Catherine! Mum's voice cut through the noise. Come here, sweetheart. We have something special planned. The crowd parted as I walked toward the dining room, and I noticed something I'd missed in the chaos. This wasn't just a casual gathering. Someone had brought a projector. Someone had prepared a presentation. And judging by the way everyone was positioning themselves around the room, phones ready, this wasn't just a party. This was a performance. And I was about to find out I wasn't the audience. I was the target. Everyone, gather around! Mum clapped her hands like she was directing a school play. We have a very special presentation for our Catherine. The projector hummed to life, casting a bright square on my pristine white wall. Dad fumbled with a laptop, while Mum beamed at me like she'd just solved world hunger. What's this about? I asked, but Mum just patted my arm. You'll see, sweetheart. Just sit right here. She guided me to my own couch, now surrounded by folding chairs that definitely hadn't been in my house an hour ago. The first slide appeared, Welcome home, Rebecca, in glittery pink letters with clip art of houses and hearts. My blood turned to ice. Surprise! Rebecca jumped up from her chair, throwing her arms around me. Isn't this amazing? Mum and Dad found the perfect solution. Solution to what? I managed to ask, but the presentation was already moving to the next slide. A photo of Rebecca's apartment filled the wall. Or, rather, what used to be her apartment. The image showed boxes stacked everywhere, eviction notices taped to the door, and her kids' toys scattered across the floor. As you can see, Mum began like she was giving a TED talk, Rebecca has been going through a difficult transition since her divorce from Barry. The landlord is being completely unreasonable, Rebecca added, bouncing one of her younger kids on her lap. He wants 3 months back rent just because I'm a little behind. A little behind? Cousin Peyton muttered from the back, but Mum shot her a look that could melt steel. The important thing, Mum continued, is that family helps family. And, Catherine, you've been so blessed with success and this beautiful, spacious home. The next slide showed a floor plan of my house, with little stick figures drawn in each room. Rebecca's name was written in the master bedroom. The kids' names were scattered across the other bedrooms.